Randy, when I was doing research on you, I saw you've both been a mentor to a lot of people, but also a mentee to some really famous legends. You actually put Bill Campbell on the list, and I had read The $1 Trillion Coach. What was that like, and how do you get the most out of a mentee-mentorship relationship?
Yeah, so I've been fortunate to have some great ones. Bill, Greg Brown, who's currently CEO of Motorola Solutions, Bob Reynolds, CEO of Putnam, Jack Connors, who's a kind of long-time Boston legend. A lot of people say, how do you get them? So true story, within $1 Trillion Coach, Phil Schiller, who's a longtime Apple executive, tells a story about going to Mary Ann's, which is a dive bar by Boston College. So we're there with Phil, me, John Clavin, Peter Bell. Peter probably introduced me to Bill, Jay and Mikey Hogue, and we're at this dive bar, and we kind of met up, and kind of one thing leads to another, and I make the ask to say, I think I was at HP at the time, obviously just decent exec. Would you mind, mentoring me? At the bar, obviously somebody's not going to say no. Similar situation, Greg Brown.
Wait, I got to pause you there. So you literally were at the bar, and you're like, hey, I'm looking for a coach. Do you want to be my coach or mentor?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, you got to seize the opportunity, right? I mean, if you're trying to know I'm going to send an email, you're going to say no. But just like with me or you, right? If you're out at the bar and there's somebody young, up and coming, and hey, of course I'm going to say yes, right? If somebody tries to get me in, calls me out of the blue or whatever, I'm going to probably say no or not pick up.
Hi, I'm Ted Blosser, CEO and co-founder of WorkRamp, where we're redefining the corporate learning space with the world's first all-in-one learning cloud for employee and customer learning. Welcome to the Learn Podcast, where we learn from the biggest leaders in SaaS and hear what makes them successful. Hope you enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, super excited to have you back. Today, we are delighted to have on our guest, Randy Seidl, founder of the sales community, board member to many high-tech companies, and venture investor. Randy, we're so excited to have you here. Let's kick off the show with my first question.
All right, let's go.
Tell us a little bit about your background, cliff notes on your illustrious career to date.
All right. My proudest moment is probably starting off at EMC. I was actually at the time what was called a telemarketer, which now would be called the SDR or a BDR. We actually did raw cold calling, which I think is just a fantastic skill that used not only in 1985 when I was there or when I was an executive at HP running a big business. So definitely a great skill. Was fortunate enough to be at EMC early on, was there for, 85, 96, about 11 years. Did a bunch of different sales and marketing jobs, including starting and running the UK, starting and running Australasia, East for sales, West for sales, some marketing groups, North America. So definitely a great time, great company. Then went to Workgroup Solutions, which is a VAR. We sold to Advisix. Then did some earlier stage companies you would not have heard of. Permabit as a CEO, Giant Loop as a founder kind of during the Y2K days. Then ended up at Storage Tech, running the East Coast for sales. Son bought Storage Tech, ran a financial services vertical, then ran North America. And at the time Oracle was buying Sun, you could tell it was probably going to be a bit of a train wreck. So then fortunately enough, Mark Hurd and Dave Donatelli hired me over at HP and was able to run the Americas business and the US business. So kind of the big job there was, about $9 billion of revenue and 4,000 people. I would argue doing any of the earlier, smaller stage companies is probably a lot harder than the big company gigs, but they're definitely all have their pluses and their minuses.
I was a huge fan of Mark Hurd, the late Mark Hurd. How is it like working for him? I'm very curious.
Yeah, great. So, notwithstanding the personal issues that people may be familiar with, but it was kind of talking about getting ready for the big game or the Super Bowl. We'd be doing, get ready for QBRs, staying up, and I'd have my team, Linda Williams, and then Dave Donatelli would be doing his, Mark impersonation with the, okay, Randy, asking about market share and growth and numbers and all that. So, that was always just a great experience. And I was amazed by peers that I had who would try and fake an answer. So if I didn't know, I'd say, I don't know. And, fortunately enough, the numbers were good. Most of the time I had great people and great team. And he was always willing to help. One funny side story was I remember I came back over Thanksgiving, called Dave Donatelli, who I was working for at the time. And I said, hey, HP has this thing where we got to take off for, a week during Christmas. He goes, what do you think we should do? I'm like, no way we should do it. People want to take vacation time, fine, but I'm not going to kick them out of the office. So we ended up doing that. And I was privileged enough to have daily calls with Mark, where we go through kind of what happened and what was the business. But it was basically him getting his fix, because I was basically the only exec in the company. It was actually working. But anyway, great person all around, very engaging, very customer centric, and certainly learned a lot from him.
Well, let's go back to some business topics here on your career at EMC and HP, which you were just talking about. And I started my career in Cisco, and they used to tell me stories about how they would literally be standing next to the fax machine. This is kind of during the Y2K era, just like literally collecting orders. And the market was just booming. And you built your sales career during the 90s, 2000s, and just really climbed the career ladder. What advice would you give to the audience in terms of the sales team members who want to build an outstanding career in sales leadership? What did you learn during those decades of climbing the ranks, carrying a bag, and becoming the great leader you became?
Great question. I don't know how many days you have, but anyway, I guess in summary, a few points. I think just kind of being a good person and authentic, which may sound kind of corny, but that means, for customers, I've been, privileged with sales community, have, got, huge, very large advisory board, strong customer relationships, partner relationships, but it's basically because you're always there for people. So whether it's a customer, it's a partner, somebody that's a peer, just kind of, in general, kind of helping out is always a good thing. If it's a Friday night or weekend and the shit's hitting the fan, are you going to be somebody that they're going to call? Are you going to take their call? Are you going to make sure that you can, help? Fortunately these days things don't break and you don't have pissed off customers like we used to grow up with. I think also being a kind of sponge for learning, which I think these days the younger generation kind of just doesn't have. They think they're, doesn't stink, and just don't have that appetite to learn and grow, do everything like that. Another point would be, I think, just work ethic. In this kind of goofy culture, and I'm not going to be in the office, I work from home, or whatever, resort location. I mean, you got to be out there. You have to be grinding. You got to be putting up the numbers around kind of hours and proposals, and you have to have the right sales methodologies and everything else. But it's just amazing how sloppy, for lack of better words, I think a lot of sales teams and sales leadership have really become over the years. I had a coffee this morning with John McMahon, who you may be familiar with, kind of the godfather of MedPick, and has gone on to do some kind of amazing boards and, amazing with the industry. And actually, I have it just handy. I'll give him a plug. Fantastic book that really goes through the journey of kind of, a train wreck of a QBR, and then kind of coaching and development, what happens on the back end in terms of the reps doing well. But a lot of these things, I would say it's really kind of just sales leadership, saying, what are you doing to help? What are you doing to give advice and to coach? Go on friggin' sales calls. Don't do just Zooms. Have those relationships, kind of make it happen. So those are a few things, and I could go on for a lot longer.
I love that attitude. I'm actually curious. So when I was at Cisco, I looked up the career ladder. I was like, how the hell would I ever get there? I was a little peon account executive at the time, and you really admired these executives. They're like, man, that will take me 2 or 3 decades. Do you think it's more around for a sales rep right now, or a sales manager? Is it all about performance? Would you say, hey, your number one thing is performance? Or would you say, hey, take a balanced approach to this? It's effort, performance, attitude. What's the best way to climb that ladder as quickly as possible? And I think you're also getting at it as like, there's no shortcuts, right? It's like, you can't fake your way there. What's your advice on tangible things we can do to climb that ladder?
Yeah, so I would say it may sound goofy, but to me, if you're to kind of stack rank all the different criteria, performance would be the last one. I would argue it's kind of what are the behaviors that you're doing. You talked about the attitude. What are you doing to give back? What are best practices that you have that you're helping out others with? And by example, if you do all that, yeah, you're going to sell a lot. But you could have somebody who maybe just got one or two bluebird deals in, has a great number, and think, hey, I'm fantastic. I would argue that person could deserve to go on a performance plan. God forbid anybody does a performance plan these days. They'd rather just do layoffs and hide behind the fact that somebody sucks. But go ahead and actually, kind of give the real feedback and make it happen in terms of, what are those things that people can do and should do different and better.
Love that. Let's switch to a slightly different topic, which is around mentorship. And so, Randy, when I was doing research on you, I saw you've both been a mentor to a lot of people, but also a mentee to some really famous legends. You actually put Bill Campbell on the list, and I had read The $1 Trillion Coach, and I didn't even know about him until he passed away. And I'm very curious, maybe I'll ask this on both ends.
Yeah.
As a mentee, so when he was coaching you, or when you had I'd love to hear about what the actual experience was like. Yeah. What was that like, and what is it like being a mentee? How do you get the most out of a mentee mentorship relationship? Maybe use Bill or another one of your great coaches as an example.
Yeah, so I've been fortunate to have some great ones. Bill, Greg Brown, who's currently CEO of Motorola Solutions. Bill Campbell, obviously mentioned. Bob Reynolds, CEO of Putnam, Jack Connors, who's a kind of long-time Boston legend. And a lot of people say, how do you get them? So true story, within $1 Trillion Coach, Phil Schiller, who's longtime Apple executive, tells a story about going to Mary Ann's, which is a dive bar by Boston College. So we're there with Phil, me, John Clavin, Peter Bell. Peter probably introduced me to Bill, Jay and Mikey Hogue. And we're at this dive bar, and we kind of met up, and kind of one thing leads to another. And I, make the ask to say, I think I was at HP at the time, obviously decent exec. Would you mind, mentoring me? At the bar, obviously somebody's not going to say no. Similar situation, Greg Brown, his son.
Wait, I got to pause you there. So you literally were at the bar and you're like, hey, I'm looking for a coach. Do you want to be my coach or mentor?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, you got to seize the opportunity, right? I mean, if you're trying to know, I'm going to send an email, you're going to say no. But just like with me or you, right? If you're out at the bar and there's somebody young, up and coming, and hey, of course I'm going to say yes, right? If somebody tries to get me in, calls me out of the blue or whatever, I'm going to probably say no or not pick up. And then same thing happened to Greg Brown. His son actually had been in Peter Bell and John Clavin's class. He said, hey, can I introduce my dad, Greg? Bob, one thing led to another. And I said, hey, same thing. Can I mentor under you? So that's kind of how you can get some really good ones. And then in terms of the process, a lot of different things you can do. And obviously Google search. What I always found valuable was to meet with them and then kind of have a bunch of questions kind of already kind of written out. What do you want to ask about? And then a lot of times for people that I mentor, or I know when they would mentor me, they would, a lot of times the mentor gets as much out of it as the mentee does, if that makes sense. And then I would always send them a follow-up to say, hey, enjoyed meeting with you. Here's my takeaways, blah, blah, blah. And then when we do the following one, maybe once a quarter, then you say, hey, just as a recap, here's what we talked about last time. Here's what I want to talk about this time. So for them, they're like, wow, you're thoughtful. You take the time to recap. You're telling me. So you're putting energy into this. I'm going to reciprocate with giving you some good energy as well. And obviously lots of good side benefits as well.
I love that. So maybe your main point is you kind of get out of it what you put in. And you were literally sending it. It's almost like a sales call where you're literally sending them the agenda, confirming this is what I want to talk about. You talk about, take notes, send a follow-up, and then do it all over again in your next meeting to make it worthwhile for you. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. And it just, analogous today, it doesn't happen as often as it should, but, prompt recap notes is also something of a hot button in mine, which I'd say is in the laundry list of things that are in the, lost art of sales.
I actually really like that. I just took on the board here at WorkRamp, recommended getting coaching. It was about 9 months ago, just to really improve business performance. And you're right. The sessions I've had with my coach is great. Shout out to Amy Bugler. But when I meet with her, the meetings that are most productive are the ones I prep for. I
Oh,
have the questions. I send them ahead of times. I've had plenty where as a CEO, I'm just like, I'm moving meeting to meeting and I just show up and she's kind of like, what are you doing here? What do you got? What's on your mind? And those have been probably the least productive, most awkward conversations. But when you have a structured agenda, it's key. I'm going to fast forward from your career into, your tech career into building the community you've built. Tell us a little about the community you built. I'd love to do a deeper dive into how you actually built this community as well too. So tell us a little about it.
yeah. So Peter Bell, very good friend, successful tech exec and investor, has Amity Ventures. So anybody interested in investing, definitely recommend Amity. But it was the beginning of COVID. Everybody take a step back and said, what do I like? What am I good at? And he said, hey, Randy, you've been doing all this consulting, advising, board work for the tech companies, really leveraging CIOs, CTOs, other joint go-to-market relationships. The CROs are really the ones that the best. Why don't you figure out something to do around that? I'm like, wow, that's a pretty cool idea. Then I talked to probably 200-300 of them during the course of whatever year that was of summer COVID, and decided to say, okay, let me come up with a community. And originally thought it was going to be more of kind of individual contributor. And then I found out there's a lot of different kind of chat rooms and sites and things like that. But kind of as things have progressed here, really being more CRO centric. There's probably some other ones that are out there, but at least kind of my circle of folks and friends really are not part of any CRO higher level, higher end type community. So fortunate enough right now, anybody can go to salescommunity.com. If I give a shameless plug, you can go click on Winter Free. You get a free year membership. I've got an advisory board of now I think it's just over 550, which may be a bit excessive. 97 or 98% of them, I'd say, I know well, friends with, worked with, and you're kind of working on some different programming that we can do kind of going forward now post-COVID. Realistically, full expectations are there's really no expectations, but they're able to network, get invited to some cool exec only invite events. We did a great CRO Zoom invite only event with Alexander Group last week, who's one of the sponsors of Sales Community. We did a face-to-face in January with a couple dozen really strong CROs in Beaver Creek. So it was like a Monday to a Thursday. So a lot of times, people try to get a half hour with them is impossible, let alone getting, 4 days. And that was just a wonderful experience. So probably for the first time in my life, I don't really have a full disclosure. I don't have a good vision. Don't really know where the puck is going, but we kind of figure out product market fit. But the thing I've really learned is the whole kind of sales tech stack is fascinating. One of the huge takeaways from the CR offsite we did in Beaver Creek was really, just this kind of tech stack and just, how massive and what a leverage point it is. There's companies, not to name names, who have, way too many tools, spending way too much, not getting value out of it. And there's ones on the other side who really don't have much of anything, definitely, are not getting any value out of it. So working with some different companies to say, okay, how can we kind of provide services and add value to those CROs? So you're kind of looking out, through the front windshield as opposed to just through the kind of rearview mirror, if that makes sense.
Well, we won't do a QBR on your strategy for your community, but it's impressive. You have sponsors like Gong, Outreach, and I loved your stat line of over 500 billion in annual quota. That's like assets under management.
That's old. Yeah, I was actually
much higher now.
Yeah, it's probably.
We're going to have the U.S. GDP under there soon, which will be great. On the community front, if you had to give one piece of advice to running a great community, what would that be? And it could be content, could be anything. What would that be?
Great members.
Great members. I love that. So the quality of the members build the back of the community.
Yeah, they have to add value. I think they've got to be substantial. They have to be good. And we've got fortunate enough with our advisory board to have a lot of strong folks there. And then also we've done our own podcast. I think we've done 115 or so. We have coming up, depending when this airs. Sorry, Mark Stevenson is a great CRO. Is doing a topic tomorrow on ours. It's called Tech Sales Insights around your ICP. We have Lisa Pope talking about how ERP has evolved. Next Tuesday, John McMahon, who I had mentioned before, he's going to be on, I think, in 2 weeks. So, that'll be great. And we're actually booked out the next, I think, close to two and a half years or so every week, except for holiday weeks.
That's crazy. You're leading the charge here. We'll have to copy how well you're doing and follow your lead here. Let me go back to the career journey really quick, because it's a really good segue in terms of you've built this community up, but you also have this illustrious sales career and a lot of stuff in between. And maybe it's a function of the market today, but I think a lot of people are questioning, hey, do I keep climbing the career ladder literally into retirement, right? Be a CRO, be at the top of the mountain, or do I kind of jump ship early and go down, let's call it a windier path, be it building a community, being a consultant, being a fractional CRO. Do you have any advice? Do people come to you on like, hey, what should I do with my career? Let's say if they're in the middle innings of their career and they hit this crossroads. What's your advice these days to people who are making those decisions?
So my generic advice, if somebody say, hey, I want to talk to you about my career without even them knowing where they're at, I just say, first thing is grass is not always greener. So people will, they'll a lot of different perspectives, right? But you say, okay, well, why are you looking? What's wrong where you're at? And then 90% of the time, you got to kind of give them a slap across the head to say, okay, well, so it's really not that bad. What do you think about it? You have to prove yourself. You have to go somewhere else. Your kind of life balance may be out of whack. Who knows if you're going to be the last one in and the first one out. So my first thing is the grass is not always greener. And then a few different perspectives. If you're in leadership, they're certainly great. I spoke at a sales class yesterday, University of Alabama, along with Tom Fryer, who's VMware, Jay Stefanik, who's HDS, and Ken Doherty, who's at Dell. And one of the things that came up, being leadership or just being a rep, and this is MBAs, and they think they're big deals. And one of them told me, well, I don't want to do cold calls. What I told them, but I said, hey, being a kind of rep, full-time rep can be a great job. You can make great money. You got great life balance. You don't have to deal with all the different headaches. And it's kind of like, when you're, single and by yourself versus you have 4 kids or 10 kids or, whatever it is, life's a little bit more complicated. So there's certainly balance between leadership and being an individual contributor. And then a lot of times I've been very fortunate that the kind of consulting advising has worked out well. But a lot of times people will leave companies and they think, oh, I had a relationship with this company, that company. But more times than not, it's really they had the relationship because of the business card, the company that they work for, not really because of them. So I say, take a look in the mirror and say, are those relationships really because of you? Or is it really because of the company? If it's because of the company, it's going to be a lot harder. And if you do want to try and do something on your own or advising or community, whatever, just think about, what's the value prop? Assuming you want to make some money, why is somebody going to pay you? How much do you think you can make doing it? And instead of just kind of quitting and going all in, maybe you can try and do a little partial thing to see how do you like it and to people like you.
The majority of the time, do you see people go back to, let's say, carrying a bag, typical job, or do you see more often than not they actually do take the leap of the people that come to you getting that advice?
Yeah, it's really mixed. And I also do another thing, I'd say generationally. I mean, when I grew up, you had to stay at a company for 5 years at a whack, if not more. And if you didn't, something was wrong with you. These days, if it's okay to say with your generation, you can do a different company every year. So these people are trying to overthink it. I'm like, who cares? Give it a try. If you want to try it, go try it. It doesn't matter because you can still get hired another year, which is crazy. So, go try it and see what happens.
That's right. Don't worry. I make fun of the next generations all the time too. So we just pass it downhill. So that's awesome. Well, let's do this. We're coming towards the end here. I want to jump into the Learn Rapid Fire round. This is a rapid fire round where I'll give you a question, give us a 1 to 2 line answer for each of them. It's really fun to see what's top of mind for each of you. So first one, who have you learned the most from in life?
Oh, geez, you had to throw in the life thing. I'm gonna break your rules, but early on at EMC, Dickie, Ian, and Roger Marino were just amazing leaders in kind of all kinds of ways. And later on, as I mentioned, Bill Campbell and Greg Brown have been amazing, not just professionally, but personally as well. Also, Bob Reynolds, and I could keep going. I'm going to stop.
Okay, those are good. I love those names. I wish I could meet some of those people in the future. Those are such big names. That's awesome. All right, next one. What is one, and it can't be yours, one podcast, book, blog, etc., that you've learned the most from?
Ooh, well, since I just read, I'm going to plug John. So
nice.
I know he also has a podcast, but I mean, I'll just play it again. I mean, just the whole process around the QBRs and the people and some idiotic things. He goes through this kind of great storyline, and just really such a great piece that represents reality so much.
Well, we just rolled out Medic here at WorkRamp, so excited that you pulled that up.
Don't forget the paper, MedPick.
Oh, MedPick. That's right. Got to do MedPick. Okay.
It's all about getting, you can do all that other stuff, but if you don't know how you can get the paper, you don't know what paper is these days probably, but that's an order. So what actually, how you get the order?
The other D is for DocuSign. You know that, right? So,
yeah.
All right. What is one topic or area you're trying to learn more about or you like to learn more about in the future? You haven't had time for, but it's on that back burner.
Ooh, I guess I'm kind of real time just with the whole kind of sales tech stack is probably one.
Okay. I like that. Any tools in particular that you want to call out that you're interested in? You haven't been able to get your hands on?
Yeah. Now you got to be careful. You'd mentioned Gong, so that's one I'll mention. And it's just fascinating if I think back to the old days, probably before you were born. But you had SAP, you had Informix, you had Sybase, you had SAP, you had Oracle, you had PeopleSoft. All these kind of ERP vendors, which at one time were probably almost all similar sizes, and then you had kind of Oracle, kind of SAP kind of emerge as kind of then the go-to leaders. But to me, I think that's probably the evolution that's really going to happen, because you can't afford to have all these kind of nuts and bolts tools and everything else. You got to have kind of one platform. And it's amazing that, on one perspective, Salesforce basically had it, and they basically, have given it up. So between, Gong and others, it'll be interesting to see how the space evolves.
Yeah, we're super excited to watch that. We're a big believer of bundling as well. It's a big part of our strategy. All right, I'm going to ask you two more questions. This one is going to be, if you could meet from and learn from one person, either alive or deceased, someone even in the past, who would you want to learn from if you could choose some person?
I think Winston Churchill would be awesome. Just his leadership and. Yeah, a lot of that old school, and I probably need to be more new school maybe, but I think lots of great attributes there.
No, that's a great one. One of our previous guests, I think, had Aristotle. So you're not going that far back, and I just listened to podcasts about Winston Churchill. He sounds like he was an amazing man. So, all right, last one. In terms of your career, so just looking at it holistically, and you're still in the middle of it, doing such great things, what is one piece of advice you would give the audience?
I'm going to maybe go a different way. I'm going to say, focus on, what are the mistakes and what are the biggest lessons learned. So one of the biggest lessons learned I had was Frank Keeney, who's a longtime amazing leader at EMC, along with Jack Egan, but it's really all about your team. So you got to make sure that you over communicate, you coach, you let them know, especially in environments, EMC environments. A lot of us were friends, so you kind of learn the hard way. When you're kind of friends with people, you got to really lean in and give them that feedback. And if they're not making it, it may be a bummer for them to cut them, but it's kind of all about everybody else. It's all about the team, and it's all about the company. So, make those, hard calls early, but make sure, when and if you're letting them go, that they say, hey, I had a fair shot. I know I had to do A, B, and C, and I failed. And in summary, I think you learn so much more from your mistakes than you do your successes. That's great feedback, Randy. And just like Andy Gross says, you're as a manager, you're the sum of the output of your team. And so that's exactly what you're saying, but you need to coach them and give them the opportunity to do well, just like you mentioned. Well, Randy, thanks so much for joining us on this episode. It's been amazing learning from your career, and I appreciate you coming on. Absolutely. And I have to plug my book, Your Go-To Sales Advisor. I've got 90 CRO friends. I have great tips and tricks. I've got a bunch of great content and a bunch of other good things in there as well.
Love it. Thanks for sharing that, Randy. Appreciate it.